So this video today is going to be a little bit different than my previous videos. And I want to be very honest in this video because this is not a highlight reel of how well I did in 2025. And it's definitely not a look how amazing everything went kind of year in recap. This is going to be a real reflection on why I started this YouTube channel, what actually happened in 2025 and what slowed me down more than I really thought or expected, and what I'm changing as I head into 2026. If you've ever tried to grow anything online, a website, a business, or even a YouTube channel, a lot of this is probably going to sound very familiar. By the way, I'm Rob McDonald, and I help small business owners like you grow their business with WordPress. So I officially started uploading to YouTube about 7 months ago. And what's funny is YouTube itself wasn't new to me at all. I'd been on YouTube for years, but I had been on YouTube not as a creator. I was just a consumer. I was watching numerous videos, trying to learn different things, trying to get my education, to become a WordPress developer. But at some point, it clicked that YouTube actually made sense for what I already do every day, which is I help people with WordPress. So I've been working with WordPress for about 18 years now, building websites for real clients, fixing broken sites, and cleaning up problems that small business owners get stuck with all the time. Now this all started when someone from my daughter's skate club years ago asked me to help manage the club website. Honestly, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't even know what a website was. At that time, the internet was still kind of new. And so I didn't even think about a website. But even knowing all this, I volunteered to help the club wherever I could. This was my first experience with WordPress. So I started watching YouTube videos. I started doing Google searches. And all of this was to learn about websites and WordPress. I learned about HTML, PHP, CSS, and other types of coding. And I did this just so I could update the club site and make it look better. You know what? People started to notice the results, mostly club parents, but some of those parents were small business owners too, who also had WordPress websites. They noticed the results with the club site and wanted me to help them with their site. And guess what? They offered to pay me for my help. So then it began, my journey to becoming a WordPress developer. Over the following years, I helped numerous small business owners with their WordPress websites. So choosing WordPress really as my YouTube niche wasn't about chasing views or trends. It was about leaning into my experience of 18 years and depth. More specifically, I wanted to focus on small business owners, not developers, not agencies, just real business owners who want their website to work without fear, confusion, or stress. And one of the biggest things that I noticed over the years with my client sites, they all seem to load very slow. And I attribute a lot of these sites that were really slow were on what I would consider poor hosting. They were on a shared hosting plan. So they didn't have a lot of bandwidth. And so their sites, some people's sites were loading, 2-3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds. So the real reason I started this channel wasn't to sell anything. It was to help. I kept seeing the same WordPress pain points over and over again. I saw confusing dashboards. I saw too many plugins. The sites were slow. And the fear of touching anything because you might break it. The goal of this channel was simple: provide information, educate, and help small business owners feel more confident using WordPress. I wasn't going to teach people how to code. I just wanted to help them understand what's going on with their site. My original goal for 2025 was 1 video per week. And you know what? I'll be honest, that didn't happen. In reality, I made about 12 videos total for the entire year. I uploaded my first 9 videos, and then I completely stalled for about 4 months. That gap ended up teaching me more than the uploads themselves. Instead of creating, I started consuming. I watched YouTube videos about YouTube. I researched strategies, overthought titles, thumbnails, gear, formats, all of it. I fell straight into analysis paralysis, which is the same thing that stops a lot of people from ever hitting publish. Even with 18 years of WordPress experience, I was stuck because I was trying to do everything perfectly instead of just doing it. 2025 really became a learning year in ways I didn't expect. I had to learn how to talk to a camera, how to structure content for video, and how to edit videos. And you know what? I'm still learning to talk to the camera. I'm still trying to decide whether I should script my videos or whether I should just talk naturally with bullet points. Both of them are uncomfortable to me. So, I want to get the content out there. So I think for the most part, 2025, I scripted a lot of the videos. I think my goal for 2026 would be to get better at speaking to the camera, and maybe instead of actually reading a script, actually, taking bullet points, taking an idea, and talking that way. Because but that takes some practice. I'm still learning. So you let me know, how I'm doing from time to time. So I had to learn how to edit videos. That was a big learning curve for me. I started with iMovie, then explored Final Cut Pro, and spent way more time learning editing than I thought I would. I also went through cameras, lighting setups, microphones, and audio configurations before finally figuring out and settling into the setup I'm using now. All that stuff matters, but it can also slow you down if you let it. Looking back, what really held me back wasn't lack of experience or lack of knowledge. It was waiting to feel ready. Tools became excuses, learning became procrastination, and preparation started to feel like progress when it really wasn't. It's like buying gym equipment and never working out. Nothing changes unless you actually show up. I'm learning that's the main theme for possible success on YouTube, and hopefully my possible success, is that you just have to show up. The good news is that I paid the learning tax. I know my setup, I know my process, and I know exactly who this channel's for. Going into 2026, the plan is simple. 1 video per week, focused on WordPress how-to content, real questions, confusion, and pain points that small business owners actually deal with every day. No fancy production, no overthinking, just consistent, helpful content. In 2026, you can expect clear explanations, no jargon, no fluff, and content that's built to help small business owners feel confident using WordPress. 2025 was about learning, and 2026 is about execution. If you're growing something too and it feels slow or messy, you're not behind, you're just early. If this kind of honest, practical WordPress content helps you, subscribe, because I post weekly. And if there's something you struggle with on your WordPress site, leave it in the comments, and I'll probably make a video about it. So going forward in 2026, let's build this together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.